This wall is being constructed almost entirely in the occupied Palestinian territory. This wall is not about security. It's about entrenching the occupation and the de facto annexation of large areas of Palestinian land. This wall, if completed, will leave the Palestinian people with only half of the West Bank within isolated, non-contiguous, walled enclaves. It will render the two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict practically impossible.
Thank you, Mr. Al-Kidwa.
It is already causing the displacement of Palestinian civilians and has imprisoned thousands of Palestinians between it and the armistice line of 1949, the Green Line. There is, moreover, without a doubt, a correlation between the route of the wall and the illegal Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory and the water resources in the area. Then, on 17 December 2003, Israel claims that the construction of the wall is a temporary defensive measure to prevent suicide bombings and provide security for Israel. This is not true, and the proof is simple. If this were in fact the case, then Israel would have constructed the wall on its territory along the armistice line of 1949 and not in departure of the line and almost entirely in the occupied Palestinian territory. If Israel wanted a wall for security, it could construct it on its territory and raise it to 80 meters rather than 8 meters if it wished. This would not bode well for mutual coexistence, of course, but no one would challenge its legality in principle.
In the current advisory proceedings,
it is more than obvious that when you deprive an entire people of their rights, expropriate their land and property, and wall them into enclaves and ghettos, you are not solving the security problem, but creating an untenable situation that will combust. It is also imperative that a distinction be made. The Council has historically failed in its responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security in the case of Palestine. It has failed to follow up the implementation of its own resolutions and take the necessary measures to ensure compliance, and has failed to prevent the continuous and at times massive violations of international law and of the Charter itself.
At the local level, Palestinians are being separated from their land and deprived of their water resources. The wall is also disrupting access to education. These photographs illustrate students at gates waiting for Israeli soldiers to open the locks and allow them through.
The people of Palestine have an unfulfilled right to self-determination. Israel cannot veto or negate the interest of the General Assembly in having a legal answer to the question asked. Indeed, that interest and the General Assembly's long-standing and legitimate institutional role is a compelling reason for answering the question.